We have done it. We are here. We have made it through another exhaustive weekend, and it is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. And as I thought, sitting here in my home, contemplating life, among other things, what I'm going to eat after tonight's show, because I am very hungry, something occurred to me in that with today's date, we have now reached the 5-month anniversary of doing this show. What began humbly on Monday, March 16th. God, that just blew my mind as I said that. Monday, March 16th, 2020 has now taken us to Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. 5 months of every single weeknight at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or, of course, if you are one of our friends in the Pacific time zone, 6 o'clock p.m. Standard Time. You've been here and you have watched the journey from what began on Instagram Live with 46 viewers. I'll never forget that day, 46 viewers, to what we now cap out at as about, we say about 20 now, but we know the numbers are going to dwindle again. How could they not? Dwindle is my middle name, I think, or it will be my middle name. We have reached the 5-month anniversary. And with that, I am James. You are you. We are here for another edition of At Home with James. What I am now dubbing a hard to book Tuesday. Why was it hard to book? Well, it's for a variety of reasons. Did I take too long to start booking? Well, we know that's the case. We know that it's a James staple of At Home with James. But at the same time, why has it become so increasingly difficult to book this show? And I think I've cracked the code. I think I've cracked the code on why it has become so tricky to book At Home with James. I think since we've made this glorious transition from Instagram Live over to Twitch, is that I've become so incredibly precious about this show. Now, when I ask myself, what are the differences? There aren't really that many differences. We're going from watching on a phone to a desktop, or unless you're watching twitch.tv/athomewithjames on a mobile device. But what has changed, James? Why do you feel so precious? And I feel that Twitch has added pressure on this. I see everyone with their viewership and their hype trains and the money that I guess they get through doing Twitch. And I thought to myself, we got to take this to the next level. We got to be so funny with this show. We have to be so moving with this show. We have to be so groundbreaking with this show. And then sometimes I sit around and think, why am I taking this so seriously? Why have I made this a job that doesn't pay me? I'm going to tell you why. What else is there? What else is there? There's a pandemic when we leave our homes. Jobs are being ripped away from us at all times. Friends that we don't see much anymore. Family that we don't see much anymore. And that's why. That is why this show has become so precious to me. I'm Precious James, otherwise known as the Gym Bag, otherwise known as Lil Cutie. That's why this show has become so incredibly precious. It's because this is all I've got. Sure, I've got friends and I've got family, but this show is now my family. This show is now my lover. This show is now my child. So it's a combination of things. It's like me and this show have made love. And in that love, we have created many children. Dave is like a child to me. Carla is like a child to me. Nerd versus Noob featuring Mark Rowland is like my big bald child to me. But it's also my parent. This show is what I look to for guidance and stability. When I wake up and I feel lost, I think about the show. In the same way that a child waking up in the middle of the night due to a creepy, crawly nightmare runs down the hallway to mommy and daddy, or daddy and daddy, or mommy and mommy's door, or mommy's door or daddy's door. Shout out to all my fellow single parent pals out there. And they ferociously knock on the door. Wake up. I'm scared. That's what I do when I wake up in the morning, except it isn't a nightmare. It's 9 o'clock a.m. and it's just life. I knock on the door of this show and I'm asking for guidance. Please, At Home with James on Twitch, show me the way. What am I doing? And it's like a lover, isn't it? Because when you can't go to your kids and you can't go to your parents, you go to the person that will hold you on the couch, in bed, on the hammock, and they wrap their arms around you and they whisper into your ear and they say, everything's going to be okay. That's what this show is. This show is my lover. And sometimes I get mad at my lover, like we tend to. We tend to get mad at our lovers, don't we? When they let us down. But we really know what's going on when we're mad at our lovers. Sure, they let us down, but oftentimes we're the problem. We are the problem. So when I'm mad at the show, I'm just projecting my anger that I want to put on myself, and I put it on the show. And as I say this, I feel like I'm going back to Instagram Live, James, because I'm slowly sliding down my chair. And that's why this show is so precious now. Because it is like a child, it is like a parent, and it is like a lover. Now, is my excessive use of the term lover bothering you? I could use a variety of words: boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, or as I like to refer to them as, your special friend or your special person. I'm glad that I got that out. I'm glad that I got that out for a variety of reasons, because it had never occurred to me until I began talking. But I'm also glad that I got it out because I don't have many guests on this show tonight. So going into this show, I thought I'm going to have to kill some serious time. We went live at about 9:02. It's 9:10. We are 10 past the hour. Why don't we have a lot of guests? Well, I talked about it. I took a while to book. But at the same time, I'm excited about tonight's show. We have one guest joining us later on, and there's really no better way to welcome this guest to this show in just a few moments for a show like this. Because if there's anyone I know that likes when this show goes off the rails, it is this person. Someone that appreciates when things, much like I do, suck. Someone who's able to look at it objectively and go, hey, that wasn't supposed to happen. I kind of like that it wasn't supposed to happen that way. I can't wait to comment on it at a later date. Popping into our show in just a few moments is going to be the man that I bestowed the honor of being the #1 viewer in At Home with James history. Syd Roc is going to be joining us. And what are we going to be talking about? There's no theme tonight. Were you watching my Instagram stories? I sat on my ass thinking, what am I going to call this show? And then what I pulled out of my ass was a hard show to book Tuesday. Syd Roc is going to be here. We're just going to go. He's going to get on here. We're going to go. Just like we do when we run into Sheila at the post office or Alain at the farmer's market or Gloria at the pharmacy. That's what we're going to do. But before we get into that, this is a special occasion. For 2 weeks, Dave Kaufman has been in the tech booth running this show. That's right. I do nothing. My hands are here. The only thing I'm in charge of is my pen. Tonight is a big one. Dave's not in the tech booth. Making her directorial debut is Carla Ma. So I want to check in with Carla. Carla, you're out there. We're going to hear you. We won't see you. Carla, how are things going so far?
It's all right in the tech booth.
It's all, I like the delivery on that dialogue. So we've come to know you in a variety of ways, Carla. There's regular Carla, chill Carla, evil Carla. This is tech Carla.
Yeah,
and what a way to make a debut.
Ultra groovy tonight. Oh, slipping and sliding those dials, clickety-clacketing those buttons. Ooh, baby, I'm in the driver's seat. Wow.
It sounds like we're about to tune into some type of like call-in love show on the AM radio dial, or it sounds like Steph Mercier-Voyer is going to pop in because things are getting seductive and sexual.
Oh, you think I'm sexy? I can get pretty funky if you want.
Well, we'll see how things get funky throughout the night. Before we get funky, Carla, is it exciting to be controlling the tech with such a low event show? There's not a lot of guests. Would you rather we had a big night of guests, or is this a nice way to christen yourself to the tech booth?
Oh, dear Jim Bag, this ain't no low little night. This is a big night tonight because we got the #1 viewer on the show. So what do you say we do the show?
Well, I like that didn't really answer my question at all. So that makes sense. I'm getting technically directed. This means, James, no more monologuing off the top. We've had enough. You peaked at your excessive use of the term lover. Let us begin tonight's festivities. Our first and only guest tonight has been here since day one. I love this guy. There's nothing to dislike about this guy. He's a supporter. He is a well-wisher. He is, as mentioned, the #1 viewer in At Home with James history. And tonight he is making his full-length appearance, first one in a long time. Let us welcome Syd Roc to At Home with James.
Hey, James. Jim
Syd,
Bag.
How
Jim Bag Dwindle McGee.
Yeah, the dwindler. Let's get into it, Syd. I always trust that you're going to tell me how it is. I saw you during the course of my my intro. I feel like you enjoyed it. What did you think?
I give that monologue I almost never give perfect scores, so I'll give it a nice 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Now, if
Yes.
this was a tech or rather a cough zone, would it be a hit or a miss?
No comments.
No comments. Okay, great. Well,
I can't. I forget which cough zone it was. Oh, the fucking Nickelback one. That was so amazing. And I gave myself a rule. I will not share my ranking of every cough zone, because if I just say, oh, that one's a hit, then all the ones that are misses in my mind are ID'd by omission. So I'm not going to rank each one, but Nickelback, that was awesome.
I think this gives me an idea for a future episode, which is Dave Kaufman, the best and worst, because we've done like the best and worst of the 90s, the good and bad and things. We have to do the best and worst of Dave Kaufman.
I lost track. I had no idea that it's been 5 months already. So there's definitely enough history to give Dave his own best and worst. It's funny too, like we've gone from not seeing me at all and having like 30-second audio bursts to me being like the one guest, the one guy who said, yeah, sure, I'll come.
Yeah, and I don't know if that speaks highly of you or lowly of you, because it's like, okay, great, this guy, he's into it.
Yeah.
And everyone else is out of it. I'm going to veer towards the positive and say that it speaks highly of you, Syd.
Well, thank you for that. I didn't know I was the only guest until I showed up.
Yeah. And, what a disappointment that must have been. You show up and you're like, oh man, I wanted to share the show with all these people. I can't believe you didn't leave.
It's funny too. It's fitting because tonight I turned on the studio lights that I've had this whole time. Every time I've been on your show, and it's just like casual lighting. It's just that I was too lazy to turn those lights on.
Well, let's get into it, Syd. Now, of course, there is no theme tonight, but for people who don't know you, I want us to almost revert back to old school days of At Home with James. Would you be so gracious to let folks know what your background is in terms of work or whatever it is? Like, generally, I used to give people like they're a writer, they're this or they're that. What is it that you would give yourself as your claim to fame?
My claim to fame.
Yeah, why not?
I don't like my job, so I don't like talking about like it's not what defines me, right?
Well, how about this? How would you say how do we in the world that we exist in, how do we know each other as?
Oh, well, I'm an improviser.
You are an improviser.
That's what that's how we met. And right up until COVID hit, that was like the thing that I wanted to put at the center of my identity. The only reason I'm speaking about it in the past tense is because, you know, live audiences are kind of on hold. Like I know there's like a partial admittance mask on type of shit, but it's not the same. Yeah. Like it's kind of a placeholder. It's an in-betweener. Yeah. And so now it's difficult for me to stake that as my as the core, but you can't, like, you can take the improviser off the stage, but you can't take the stage out of the improviser.
You know what we are, Syd? You and we're both lost. We are lost right now. But just as the famous Canadian band Blue Rodeo once said, we are lost together, my friend. We are lost together. I want to play some hypotheticals with you, Syd. So we're talking about improv, and I'd mentioned this before. You enjoy, much as I do, when improv goes wrong. Is that fair to say?
Oh my God. It's funny too, because like people who know this about me will get it. But yes, when I'm a loud laugher, and when I laugh during an improv show, you need context to see if I'm laughing with you or at you. And people who know this about me, who are, while on stage, able to identify that I'm laughing at them, it's very interesting to watch that potential death spiral.
Now this is what I want to dig deep into, Syd. So I want you, and I want to jump in on this as well. Let us begin painting what can make for the worst possible improv experience that you, or because I feel like we are kindred spirits in this sense, because I think that it's not just relating to what happens on stage. There are contributing factors that make it all globally terrible. Let us begin. What would you, if you're going to put together the worst possible improv experience that you find humorous, what does that look like?
Well, the first example that came to mind, I won't describe the actual scene, not yet anyway. But what made me laugh about it was the fact that the improvisers accidentally painted themselves into a corner that they didn't want to be in. And to just realize that, like, oh fuck, you just played yourself right out of the gate, and now you're kind of stuck in a mess of your own making. And the scene just started, so we'll see what kind of how you get yourself out of there, if at all.
Okay, so you're basically saying they step in the bear trap immediately.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to add to this. I feel like this is probably a poorly attended show as well.
Yeah, that definitely adds to it.
Yeah,
the example that came to mind had a decent crowd, but yes, poor attendance helps.
Yeah, poor attendance does help a generally bad improv experience. I'm going to throw this in there. You go to the concession stand and they don't have what you want. It's like, oh, can I get a ginger ale? Like, oh, we don't have any more, but we've got bottled water.
Man, if we're gonna go meta in the sense that we're including what happens in the venue, I would say, now I'm trying to distinguish if I'm more annoyed by it being too hot or too cold. I'm gonna go with
AC. The AC needs to be broken.
Oh, okay. There we go. So it's too hot and there's no AC.
Yeah, and I think maybe someone beside you is eating food as well.
Oh man, and I'll make them a loud laugher as well.
Okay,
Like
they're all okay.
it's funny too because I remember at Sketchfest a couple years ago. I don't know who this person is,
Mhm.
but as a loud laugher, I can't really judge when there's another loud laugher in the room. But I
Mhm.
remember for like 3 or 4 days in a row, this guy would laugh in this very man. If you're in this chat right now or watching after, I'm sorry if this is you, but he would laugh like that kind of
So
thing.
that guy's there.
Yeah,
He has to be at this show.
and it was at Theater St. Catherine, and from what I could echolocate, he was always up on the balcony, and I remember him throwing off a couple of people by laughing in that way.
Okay, so I want to do like a recap here. We've got a poorly attended show. The air conditioning is broken. The patrons can't get what they want at the concession stand. The improvisers have fallen into a terrible scene by their own accord very early on. And there's a distant laugher. Can I get that laugh one more time, Syd? Yeah, you can't. I want to. Maybe you can't locate this guy, so you're just kind of like looking around. Because look, we all have these these laughs that stick with us. That it's just like, who is this person? They become legends around performance spaces. So totally. I have a follow up. What can we name what type? Is this a jam show? Is this a regular show? What type of show is this? Like a kind of a rookie show? What is this?
Ooh, I would say a jam show, but with mostly rookies.
Yeah,
because, and no judging, but you know, those bad habits take a while to get out of your system.
Yeah, can we name this show? When you think of like rookie improv show, like my immediate thought is all-star improv.
Wait, what's all-star improv?
This is a hypothetical name.
Okay, it's a hypothetical name.
It's a rookie show, but it's called all-star improv.
Yes, yeah, I love it.
And I'd say it's got a special 6:30 p.m. start time.
Yeah, 6:30 on I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, so yeah, I was thinking a Sunday, but Sunday's
oh my
better.
God.
Yeah, what's worse? I think, oh God, I want to say maybe Tuesday, but because our Montreal, we don't do shows on Tuesday.
No, not really.
Okay, so I'm gonna you're gonna decide, Syd, when is this show?
It's heartbreaking for me to say this because one of my favorite shows, the now defunct La Belle Improv, that show was on Tuesdays, if I remember.
It was on Tuesday, but it wasn't a depressing vibe.
Late. Yeah, and it was late. So I'm gonna go 6:30 on a Tuesday.
Okay, so we got a 6:30 Tuesday show called All Star Improv.
Yes.
Let's go even deeper with this. Can we find a venue unsuitable for improv?
Oh my God. But before I continue, I just want to mention Naive Adventures, who mentioned people talking in the audience.
Yep.
That's fucking annoying, whether they're talking about the scene or not. But to answer your question, an unsuitable venue for improv, I'm thinking, oh shit. It has to be a level surface. Yeah. Like there can't be any elevation that would serve as a stage.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, no chairs. So the audience is standing too.
Okay, so this is a standing room only show.
Yeah.
On 6:30 at 6:30 on a Tuesday called All Star Improv. It's a jam show full of rookies.
Yes.
And there's no air conditioning.
And it's echoey. There has to be like a bunch of echo and reverb.
Yeah. Now, is there a tech for this show or no?
There has to be no tech.
Yes.
For sure. Like if it's the worst, there has to be no tech at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they would even end their scenes. Oh, okay, yeah. So there's no tech and no host. No, wait.
Yeah, oh, there's no host?
Do jams even? Is it possible for a jam to not have hosts?
I'm gonna say the host of the show is I have an idea for this venue. I want to put it maybe at Honey Martin in NDG, which
I don't know that place.
It's the tiniest venue, and there are virtually no seats.
Nice.
So I'm thinking maybe Honey Martin, and the host is the bartender, and he introduces the acts from the bar. But he's not paying attention, so some acts they go too long. Some acts that are meant to have like 15 minutes go 30.
Love it. Yes.
Yeah, Syd, who's the headliner of this show? Can you name the headliner if you were to come up with a rookie team?
A rookie team name.
Yeah, like what's a rookie team name? I like the first thing that pops into my mind is the pickled eggs.
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind is Dragon Balls.
Oh, Dragon Balls. Oh, yeah. That seems like an all-guy team to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that what they do is they show up with, they have a theme that they want to come out to, and they've got it on a USB, and the bartender's like, oh, there's no tech. And they're really disappointed, and they have a terrible set, and they blame it on that. They're like, there was no tech. There's no tech. This conversation's only appealing to people who understand the plight of the improviser.
And the suggestion is dildo.
Yeah, the suggestion, it's yeah, and every scene it's a rookie team, so every scene is dildo based. Every scene is dildo based, and I think that during the set, another team is warming up, and you can hear it. So like you've got Dragon Balls, they're doing a set, and they're like, oh, I found this dildo in my mom's closet.
And
but in the back of the room, you hear zip, zap, or maybe like, I want to make it even worse. They're probably doing like a bunny or a badada, like one of the more it might be like a team from McGill is doing a set that night.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do another recap. There's a rookie jam show that's happening at Honey Martin and NDG, which objectively might be too cool of a venue. This is so out of the realm, but I'm wondering if we want to move this to it happens inside of an Amir. It's in a restaurant. This improv show's happening.
Yes. Oh my God, it has to be a restaurant. A restaurant with diners there.
Yeah, okay. Is it inside of an Amir? Can we imagine? It's like that's unbelievable, but it's far like in the back of a Thai Express or something like that. It has to be a bar. It's got to be a bar. Let's just look. You know what? As much as I hate to say it, we'll keep it at Honey Martin, 6:30 p.m. Tuesday. Honey Martin. It's called All-Star Improv, and there's like it's on a sandwich board outside in chalk. Improv is misspelled IMPORV.
There we go.
All-Star Improv. There is no host, nor is there a tech. The bartender hosts the show. It's rookie
from
team
the bar.
Yeah, featuring Dragon Balls, an all-male team, and there's only 2 acts. You've got headlining is the Pickled Eggs, and we think they might be from Concordia. Let's make them even younger. They go to Dawson.
There we go.
Yeah, they're 16 or 17 years old. As the main act is performing, dildo is the suggestion. It's the only scene. Every scene they do is about dildos. They get in. I would suspect they get into. They say something inappropriate right away. Like that, maybe something potentially racist right away.
Yeah, I won't theorize. I'll let the viewers fill that in with their. Yeah,
it's something that is like that. It doesn't fly. It's like it takes the air out of the room right away. But you're there laughing.
Yeah.
And also, there's the other guy who we can't tell. And Syd, what's his laugh? Yeah. He gives the suggestion. Let's give him a name. What's his name? If we had to give him a name,
I'll call him Toby.
Yeah, Toby. Yeah. So Toby is that guy. He gives a suggestion. They say something inappropriate. Dragon Balls. They got the dildo set. You're laughing because it's going wrong.
Yes. And there are two people talking about their day.
Oh yeah. That's a great detail. And then in the back of the room, pickled eggs are still warming up. The bartender leaves Dragon Balls on stage for 30 minutes.
Twice as long,
30 minutes.
Fucking dildo-based scenes.
Yeah, they do 30 minutes of dildo work. And then maybe my instinct is that maybe pickled eggs, like they're not that bad. They're like, you know what? It was kind of wild, but they weren't that bad. Yeah. I think Toby leaves during their set to have a cigarette.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sid, we may have just put together the worst possible improv show in Montreal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ways to make it worse, and nothing's coming up.
How about this? There's a band that's going to go on later in the night, and they're tuning up. They're tuning. You hear them so you hear the bass. It's like they're just getting ready, and I think I think that makes it worse. I think.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh, okay. Look, I've got so many. I think that once pickled eggs are on stage, Dragon Balls, they basically change spots. Dragon Balls, they start arguing with each other. They have like improv drama going on.
Yes, like actual arguing, not their characters, them.
It like one of them is like, we didn't get to warm up properly. They didn't use there's no tech. We didn't get to do our intro. Our idea generators based on the intro, and then like one of the other guys, Paul, is like, no man, don't make excuses. And then the other one's like, you blocked me in that dildo scene. And then the other one's like, which dildo scene? And then Toby's he's having a cigarette outside with one of the other members of Dragon Balls.
There we go.
But Toby's like, I loved it.
Oh man. For sure their intro music is the theme song to Dragon Ball
yes,
Z.
Of course it is. And maybe they do vocals over the song in post-production. And somehow they'd find themselves in a 3PO competition at Montreal Improv. They'd bring all their friends.
Being Dragon Ball themed, their ask for is if you assembled all the Dragon Balls, what would your wish be? And Toby said dildo.
Yeah, dildo. Can I get that laugh one more? Can I get that laugh one more time, Sid? What's great about that laugh is because it's like in Toby's head, he's like, something's gonna happen here. Like it's a laugh that indicates I'm intrigued and I want more.
Oh boy.
Sid, here's what's great about this is that show has happened somewhere.
Oh yeah. For sure. And my condolences to everyone who witnessed that.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? It could be worse. It could have happened inside of an Amir.
Oh man. Oof.
Imagine that you're going to get like a mixed plate, chicken and beef shish, and you're just there eating your turnips and your coleslaw and salad, and you got like your pita bread, and then all of a sudden you hear like, folks, get ready. All-Star Improv is going to begin in 10 minutes. And you're just there
You're
shoveling.
just there for your fucking shish taouk.
Yeah. You're just trying to shovel shawarma in your mouth, and then like Dragon Balls comes on. They have a tech at Amir. They've got a tech.
Yes, Amir's got a tech.
Amir's got a tech. Around. Sid, I think we just really made any improviser who's chosen the life that they have question everything, because they know they're sitting there thinking, in 6 months, I could be doing that gig. That's like improv is going to happen all over the city in these random spots.
It's people will be rushing towards the Amir with their fucking USB keys.
And I think that at least you and Toby will be enjoying it.
Yes.
But for two different reasons.
I'll be laughing at Toby.
Syd, we managed to do like 25 minutes without a game plan.
Yes, we're in sync.
We've done it, Syd. We've done it.
This was I'm speaking about it as if it's over. I don't know what your plan is.
Me neither. Me neither.
That was a fun little descent into madness.
Yeah, and again, what makes it so pure and what's so enjoyable is that could be us at any given moment. I've done shows that are not on par with as bad as that, but certainly as bad. Syd, is there a show that like stands out to you like this is the worst piece of garbage I've ever experienced?
Nothing comes to mind just yet. I'm sure. I can't think of any. It's kind of just a blur of question asking and not really paying attention to what my partners are saying.
Yeah, it's just like that feeling of your body exists on stage, but your mind is anywhere else. And anytime you do catch up with your mind is saying, just let the lights go down so I can walk out of here. And then you lay in bed thinking about, why have I picked this life?
Yeah, bad shows like that are they can be rough.
They can be rough. They're rough emotionally. Syd, before we move on with the night, I'd like to end things the way they began by talking about the hit or miss moments of the Cough Zone.
Oh, boy.
Now, we've got Dave Kaufman in the chat. It's his first night off in 2 weeks. He wants to know, he wants an answer. What was the worst Cough Zone?
The worst Cough Zone. Oh, my God. Okay, that's probably something if I let me see. Fuck. The worst Cough Zone.
I have one that springs to mind.
What's your answer?
Well, technically it wasn't a Cough Zone. It was the Rock Zone. Where Dave was showing off his rock collection.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
During that segment in the chat, someone wrote, there's no way they have 15 minutes of material with this.
That was pretty bad, but that's that I can't label that a hit, a miss, because I remember enjoying that ironically. Like it was bad in the sense that I'm not reading the chat, Dave. You can go on. But yeah, I remember enjoying that one because of how bad it was. And that's not like, to me, that is enjoyable.
Much like the Dragon Balls set at All Star Improv.
I just remembered, and there was a Cough Zone where Dave was playing Lorena Bobbitt's husband.
Yeah, John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yes, and the chat went nuts against him.
That's what we call in the wrestling business an incidental heel turn.
Like I think earlier in that night we had established how John Wayne Bobbitt was not
he's not a cool guy, as we say in the entertainment industry.
And then
yeah, Dave had to go play this not cool guy. Can I tell you something, Syd? That might also be Dave's least favorite Cough Zone ever as well.
Yeah.
Syd, we did it, man. I want to thank you so much for being here on tonight's show. And now we know that it was only Instagram Live that made life difficult for you.
It was.
Twitch, it's a whole new world for us to build the worst possible improv shows ever.
VIP treatment, baby.
And that you are, Syd. Thanks so much, buddy. Let's talk soon, okay?
All right.
That was Syd Roc. If you're new to the show here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames, back in the Instagram Live days, Syd was unable to connect. Tonight, not only did he connect, but we built the worst possible improv show that I could ever imagine. And like I said, it could be real. Now, I asked Syd, tell me about your worst possible improv show. And any performer, it doesn't have to just be about goddamn improv, whether you're sketch, stand-up, puppeteer. We've all left those shows feeling like a big, giant fraud. We get into bed and we think, what did I just do? What did I just do? I'm supposed to tell people how to do this in classes. I'm supposed to pass on knowledge. I can't even get on stage and be funny. But then you get up, you dust yourself off, you walk back to whatever performance space you might happen to be performing at that night, and you do what I always do when I get on stage, and that is crush. Because that's what they call me. They call me the Crush. And by they, I mean me. I call myself the Crush. And when I say I call myself the Crush, I mean I just gave myself that nickname. But let's be honest. It hasn't always been that way for old James Allen McGee. If I'm going to ask Syd about bad shows, I got to talk about a bad show. Many, many moons ago, I did a corporate improv event. And if anyone knows anything about corporate improv performances, it's the equivalent of putting a vacuum into your mouth and down your throat to suck out whatever soul is inside of you. This gig, much like the hypothetical all-star improv that took place at 6:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, took place, I think, at 6:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. So we, of course, had to follow dress code. We wore some formal wear. We went to a hotel conference room, and we were booked for a 2-night event, Tuesday, Wednesday. The pay, wonderful. That's why you do those events, for the moolah. It's not for the artistic integrity, because there is none. They rip away whatever artistic integrity that you may have had going into it. If you're going in 90% artistic integrity, you're leaving 30%. So we get to this show. We talk to the handler who's handling us. They get on stage and they intro us the same way they intro us at any one of these shows. They say, well, it's now time for that special moment in the night where our friends from Improv Montreal join us, because they never get the name right. It's always, they're coming to us from Improv Montreal. They're going to be doing some improvised comedy, some scenarios for us. So let's welcome, and that's the moment where they don't know. They've already said Improv Montreal. They don't know how to close out their intro. So it's always, so let's welcome Improv Montreal. So we get on stage and we try to do crowd work, and they don't care because we're not doing improv for them. We're doing improv at them. All they want to do is go to the hotel bar, have a couple of drinks, and then maybe go back to the hotel room with someone from Denver. They want to go back to the hotel room with Sheila from Denver or Marcus from Iowa, and they want to have sex, right? Because they're going to go back to their branches. They don't want to have improv done at them. So we get on stage and we have to do, hey, everyone, we're going to do some improv for you. Everything that you see here tonight has never been done before, and it'll never be done again. And for some of us, we will never want to do it again. So we do the worst improv that you could possibly do at a corporate event, and they're all short form games because for some reason, improvisers think it's corporate. We got to do games, but they don't want that. They want dildo. That's what they want. There is a Toby inside of those events who wants dildo. And he's nudging Carl from the other branch. And then we have to pretend like we didn't hear it. I want to take it. I want the challenge. You know what, Carl? I want dildo. Let's take it. I'll give you the best dildo scene you've ever seen. You want to know why? Because I crush. I crush. So we do games, which for people who don't know improv, it's just whose line is it anyways? So we struggle through 30 minutes of no laughs, but committed. May I say committed. The show gets done and we leave. We do notes, which are, well, that sucked. That was a nightmare, but we got paid. We got paid, which is better than laughs sometimes. So I'm with one of my comrades from the show, and I said, you know what? Let's go have dinner. Let's go get some food. We're walking to an American barbecue restaurant. I get a phone call from the person who booked the gig. Calls me, says, what happened? I said, what do you mean? It went terrible. How else is it going to go? And he said, they canceled tomorrow's gig. And I said, well, I guess it was really bad. I guess it was really bad. And then he said, you're getting paid for tomorrow's gig anyway. And that is why you always say yes to corporate improv performances, because if it is so bad that the people who facilitated the event meet up after and go, we can't have these improvisers here tomorrow. That was terrible. We should still pay them. That's a win. Because if we had to go back the next night to do that same thing over again, yeah, we would have been paid. But our pride would have been on the line. So I can't sit here and ask Syd for his worst performance without giving my own. Is that my worst? No. There's far worse. One day, me and Dave, we're going to get on the horn here. We're going to talk about Larry and Terry Go to La La Land. What I like to think of is one of the worst shows in improv history. That's this another show. Bedtime Stories. It's going to be a late night show, 12 a.m. on a Sunday. You do Sunday going into Monday, because that's what we need. We need to go 7 nights a week. Let's check in with Carla in the booth. Carla, again, it's your first night on the keys. How are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling good, feeling great.
And how have things been? Of course, you are an improv practitioner in your own right. Did we strike up any scary feelings of this could be true during my conversation with Syd?
Oh, yeah, I totally was there with Dragon Ball Z, you know. Also, I could have imagined battling the noise from the kitchen fans. Ooh, and it was probably really smelly, like old beer in the carpet. And there might have been somebody loudly talking on their cell phone right up at the bar while they were having a meltdown.
So now we're getting some retroactive additions to how bad this could be. So there's a ceiling fan that's loud. Someone's talking on their cell phone in the bar, and this is a carpeted bar, and it smells of beer.
Oh, yeah, you just hope that it's only beer, but there's probably all sorts of gross stuff in that carpet.
Well, we won't digress too far. Carla, how many more nights are you on the keys tonight for us in the technical director's chair?
Well, I'll just be here tonight and tomorrow. Well, maybe Saturday. Who knows?
Okay. Well, as much as I like to do this off air, and again, I'm going to open up the curtains in just a little bit. I like to ask Dave after the show, is there anything I could be doing? Carla, I want to put you on the spot. Is there anything I could be doing tonight from your technical directorial standpoint?
Oh, no, you're great.
Oh.
You know, you could switch it up maybe in the beginning. Go back to how you used to do things. Maybe try doing a little entering and exiting right now.
Okay, so yes. So Carla, you want to see me walking to my chair like we used to do on Instagram Live as opposed to appearing already in my chair.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of a throwback to those IG days.
Okay, we're going to do a throwback here, so give me one moment. Carla, how about like a nice lead-in? We're going to pretend that I've had a lead-in voice.
All right, okay. Let me just get my stuff set up. Oh my. This is exciting. We're doing this live. I'm playing the music, and now everybody, put your hands together at home. Get ready for your favorite talk show on Twitch. It's At Home with James. And here's your host, James Allen McGee.
We did it. Buckle up, guys. We made it. We're here. We're alive. Do you feel good? I feel good. I feel great. That is just exactly how I used to intro the Instagram show.
Wow, that was really fun.
So we've got some stuff to work on. My to-do list is start walking to my chair, but also record an intro for the show, Carla.
Oh, yeah. That'd be super dope.
Well, Carla, I'm going to check in with you again in a couple moments. We're going to close this show out together.
Sounds groovy.
Now, As we begin to wind down on tonight's broadcast, of course, of At Home James, a reminder that we will be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames. Tell your mom, dad, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy, neighbor, tell your worst enemy. On tomorrow night's show, the most unbuttoned guest in At Home with James history, Xavier Tolentino, is going to be here making his Twitch debut. The only question is, how many buttons is he going to go down? Now, we talked about how this was a hard show to book, but I need to express to you how much fun I'm having on tonight's show. Now, earlier on, when I did my little Facebook share, I said we're going to be pulling the curtains back on tonight's show. And I'd be remiss if I didn't do it. Of course, I talked about how this is, for more or less, the 5-month anniversary of tonight's show. 5 months of this. It was so humble early on. Just a young man with a dream and a lot of time on his hands. And now we've moved on to Twitch, where, of course, not to get into it again, I felt precious with everything. Little technical snafu there. That's fine. I would have done the intro again. Now, when we talk about pulling the curtains back, of course, that implies we reveal secrets or we talk about things to come. So why not reveal a couple secrets? Do you remember the 50th episode week? Me and Dave were sitting there and we announced, gosh, we're going to move to Twitch. We're going to move this show to Twitch. And it took 50 episodes to do it. Now, I'm not just saying this because she's on the keys tonight. It is my belief that we never would have moved to Twitch without the help of Carla Ma. Now, when we keep opening up the curtains, it's only fair that I talk about how Carla came to us on At Home with James. Some people ask me, how do you know this person? Here's the answer. I don't. I'm getting to know Carla. Carla is getting to know me. But there was no pre-established relationship. Guys, she lives in Vancouver and I live in Montreal. Of course, the best borough of Montreal, the Southwest, St. Henry, born and raised. I was not born or raised here. Sehar Manji, friend of the show, well-wisher, was on the show one night. Carla began watching. I was shockingly looking at the chat and I saw, hey, this person seems funny. Okay, this person seems funny. I'm like a hawk. I'm looking around waiting for comedy to happen. And then I see the person. I go, I need that person. I need that person to be funny. Not only for me, but for the viewer. The trusted and appreciated At Home with James viewer sent Carla a message. She mistook it as saying, hey, come back and watch the show anytime. Not only did Carla appear every week after that moment, but Carla is responsible for all the graphics you see on Twitch, the videos you see, the sit cozy, the sit tight, be cozy. I don't even know my own friggin' video text. And we've begun migrating all of the footage from Twitch to YouTube. And when I say we, I mean Carla. So when I talk about opening up the curtains, not only am I opening up the curtains, but I am opening up my heart in this moment. And I've done it a few times. And yes, I know multiple thank yous can be lost on people because I thank Carla probably every day on Instagram DMs. We only communicate on Instagram direct message. We've got a Discord. That's right. The nerdiest way to chat. So when we talk about opening up the curtains, I'm really talking about opening up my heart. Carla, are you out there? I think Carla might be.
Are you looking for me?
Carla, I can't thank you enough.
I don't know what to say right now, James.
Look, I've been known to put people on the spot. How does it feel to know that without your help, me and Dave would have still been doing Instagram Live?
I don't know. Everything happens for a reason. And somehow my little crazy self found my way to your IG Live that fateful day. It's so strange how it all came to be. Really, all because of the power of improv bringing people together.
Okay, well, it really is the power of improv, isn't it? This has been an improv-heavy show, maybe the most improv-heavy show that we've done so far. And may I also say that it sounds like you're doing a fairly decent Mitch Hedberg impersonation with this whole new world that you've created for yourself, of course, inside the tech booth.
Oh, this world's gonna keep on changing. Who knows what I'll be like next when you hear or see me.
Well, we'll probably see you on the in the tech booth tomorrow, and of course, we're going to see you literally on Thursday for the Crapola Corner. Do we have any previews for that so far, Carla?
Oh, I can't give anything away. I just go with the flow. Literally, if you want to hear a little behind the scenes, that vape and that beer wasn't even a thing when I wanted to do that show that very fateful night. It all came to be because I had a little meltdown with my computer setup and it did not work. So I had to scramble minutes before the show. Actually, I might have been late setting up my crappy laptop with an unstable Wi-Fi connection. And I crawled around in my floor and I got tangled in all those cords and I said, you know what? I need a vape. I need a beer. And there it all came to be.
So the curtains continue to be revealed now that we understand the inspiration for what turned us into super, or rather what turned Carla into super chill Carla. Carla, as we begin to wind down, thank you so much for being in the booth tonight. I can't wait to work with you again tomorrow.
Can't wait to see you tomorrow, too. I almost forgot my own schedule when I was talking about it before.
I'm sure that we will Instagram direct message about it where I will thank you once again.
All right, talk to you later, cool cat.
I am the cool cat. But there's another cool cat that I want to thank Syd Roc for being here tonight. I loved every moment of that conversation. Everyone knows I like good improv, but bad improv, bad comedy, it takes me to a place, a very, very, I would say, a dimly lit place that only I can enjoy. Folks, we did it. Episode 1 of the week is out of the way. I was nervous before we began. I'm happy that it happened the way that it did, because just as some people's welcome mats say, or crappy HomeSense art on their walls say, everything happens for a reason. I'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, I want to thank once again Syd Roc. I want to thank Carla Ma. I'll thank Dave Kaufman. He was supposed to barbecue for me earlier on. I said, I can't do it. I got to go home and start putting this show together because I am late. I will see you tomorrow night. Until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And be well. See you tomorrow.